Right now, somewhere in your mind, four invisible forces are working on you at the exact same time, and science can prove every single one of them. One is quietly convincing you that you're alone even in a crowded room. One is making you addicted to something that's hurting you. One is forcing you to wear a mask you never chose. And one is stealing your time without you ever noticing it disappear. Here's the part most people never realize. These four aren't random, and by the end, you'll recognize exactly where you are in this chain. It starts with the first weight, loneliness. Your brain doesn't treat loneliness as an emotion. It treats it as physical danger. Neuroscientists found that the brain region activated by social rejection is almost identical to the region activated by physical pain. Being ignored by people you love can register in your brain exactly like a physical wound. This is why loneliness doesn't just feel bad, it's measurable. Chronic loneliness raises cortisol levels, weakens the immune system, and has been linked to a higher risk of early death than smoking or obesity. And here's the cruelest part. You can be surrounded by people and still be profoundly lonely, because loneliness isn't about how many people are around you. It's about how many of them actually see you. Our silhouette stands in a room full of laughter, and still, no one turns their head. This is the first invisible weight. But loneliness rarely stays empty for long. The mind doesn't tolerate a void. It looks for anything to fill it. And that search is exactly where the second weight begins. To escape that emptiness, you don't always choose the right person. Sometimes you choose whoever makes the loneliness stop, even if what they give you is unstable, unpredictable, or quietly harmful. And once that happens, something changes in your brain that has nothing to do with love anymore. Toxic relationships hijack the exact same brain chemistry as addiction. Every time a partner pulls away and then comes back with affection, your brain releases a hit of dopamine, the same reward chemical triggered by gambling, or nicotine, or a slot machine. This creates something psychologists call an intermittent reinforcement loop. When love is unpredictable, your brain doesn't get bored of it. It gets obsessed with it. You start chasing the unpredictable high the same way an addict chases their next dose. That's why so many people know a relationship is hurting them, and stay anyway. It was never really about love. It was about a chemical loop they didn't choose and can't easily switch off. Our silhouette reaches for a hand that keeps pulling away, and reaches again and again. This is the second invisible weight. But staying in something that's hurting you creates a new problem. You can't let anyone know it's hurting you. So, you learn to hide it. And that's where the third weight takes over. To the outside world, everything has to look fine. Your job, your relationship, your life, all of it performed as okay, while underneath, none of it actually is. Psychologists call this the false self, a curated identity built specifically to be seen, while the real, struggling self stays hidden. It's closely related to what's known as imposter syndrome, the persistent fear that if people saw who you truly are, or what you're truly going through, they would see through the mask completely. Here's what's strange. Studies show this disproportionately affects high achievers, the people holding everything together the best on the outside. The more competent someone actually is, the more likely they are to secretly believe they're a fraud. Researchers sometimes call this the Dunning-Kruger effect in reverse. The most capable people often underestimate themselves the most. Your brain does this by discounting your own success as luck or timing, while treating every crack underneath the mask as undeniable proof of who you really are. Our silhouette wears a calm, confident mask in public, and alone, in the mirror, a different face stares back. This is the third invisible weight. It doesn't come from actually failing. It comes from a mind terrified of being truly seen. And maintaining that mask every single day takes something you don't even realize you're spending, your time. Which brings us to the fourth and final weight. While you're busy pretending everything is fine, time is doing something silent and irreversible in the background. Here's the science. Your brain's perception of time isn't constant. It's built on new experiences. When your days become repetitive, Your brain compresses them into almost no memory at all, which is why a year can feel like it disappeared, while a single new week abroad can feel longer than the entire month before it. This means the busier and more repetitive your life becomes, the faster your brain deletes it. You're not imagining that time is speeding up. Your own mind is quietly racing it as it happens. Our silhouette watches sand pour endlessly through their fingers, faster than they can ever close their hand around it. This is the fourth invisible weight, and it's the reason so many people wake up one day and ask the same terrifying question: where did all of my time go? Loneliness that went unfilled, a relationship that filled it the wrong way, a mask built to hide that mistake, and time that quietly disappeared while the mask stayed on. 4 invisible weights. Not random, not separate. One chain, carried by almost everyone you'll ever meet, including quite possibly the person you saw in the mirror this morning. The good news is this: every single one of these has been studied, understood, and in many cases, reversed. And chains can be broken at any link. You don't have to fix all 4 at once. You just have to notice where yours started. If you recognized even one of these in yourself today, you're already further ahead than you think. Subscribe if you want to understand the invisible things carrying you before they carry you too far.